Hello, good morning everyone. This is Angela Johnson Ayers here with Confessions of Mommy, and I am just glad to be with you this Wednesday, October 23rd. You know, I'm going to title this podcast, A Mad Mommy. You know, I'm angry, and I'm going to tell you what I'm angry at, and I'm sure you moms are angry at the same thing, or at least you should be. I'm angry at how people out here think they have the right to abduct and murder and kill children. I'm sick about it. You understand what I'm saying? I'm sick about it. The little girl in, was it Alabama or South Carolina? One of many, many cases, but this one particularly where the little girl was lured away from a party and they found her body in a landfill. And I'm telling you, I'm sick of it. I have always had a disdain and a downright hatred towards anyone and anybody who thinks they have the right to snatch or take a child. And that, I think it really became, it was birthed in me years ago when John Walsh, when his son, Adam Walsh, was taken. And I just remember following that story when I was much younger, and then seeing how John Walsh him and his wife turned their pain into something, I guess, it's positive, you know, as far as looking for fugitives and helping bring criminals to justice. But being a parent is the most scariest thing ever. And listen to you all, please excuse me now. I'm just going to let you know that I may drop a curse word or two in this thing because I just have to keep it 100 with what I'm feeling, you know. It's hard enough in this world raising children. You know what I'm saying? It's hard enough making sure that you're instilling with them the values, the beliefs, the morals that will help make them an asset to not only themselves but society, most importantly, someone whom God can be pleased with. But then just the everyday fears. Whenever I leave my house with my daughters, and I don't care if I had sons, I would have the same mutual equal fears. And don't give me that God hasn't given you a spirit of fear stuff. I know he hasn't. I know that's what the word says, but I'm just telling you my truth. I have fears. I have concerns. I have worries. I have anxieties about it. I go to the store and it's like, oh my God, I'm holding them so close to me. And making sure no one abducts them, you know, no one kidnaps them. I remember when I was much younger, the Atlanta child murders were happening. And that also awakened me to this evil that is prevalent in the world. It's almost as if there's a special sect of wickedness that they just prey on little children. I mean, how freaking sick do you have to be to lure a 3 or 5-year-old child away from a party and abduct them? And God knows what they did to this child. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, people. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of sex trafficking. I'm sick of you all think you have the right to go and snatch people's children, snatch the very thing. It's taking a person's child is taking their heart out of their body, literally. If you want to know how to love, if you want to know really what love is, have a child. Have a child. That thing takes your heart to a level you thought you could never love. You can't love a man or a woman as much as you love your child. I don't care what nobody says. You understand? Ain't no penis that good. Ain't no for JJ that good. It is a pure, innocent, God-given love to love a child. And how dare some demon-filled, sex-driven maniac imp come along, both male and female, and snatch that very thing from a parent. You snatching the very heart out of a person's chest. And I hope and pray there's a special place in hell for you people who do that to young children, who rape and molest and murder these children. And you think and you think that it's nothing. And I know that your mind is taken. You know, people always want to say mental illness. Mental illness is not a mental illness. It's a demon. It's a spirit behind it. But also for every spiritual act that you may commit against children, I hope there's a natural consequence that just eats your butt up, because it's horrific. It's horrible to do. You know, and I just think about it. You know, as a parent, we go to the store and you have to always be watching your children. It's to the point now I don't even like taking my kids to the store because I always have to keep an eye on them. I can't even focus on my grocery list or on shopping because I'm like damn near scared somebody's going to take my child. Let me give you an example of something that happened to me last year when I was in Kmart, out of all places. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, this man was going to try to snatch one of my daughters. We were in the children's department, and this man didn't even have any children with him. And I saw him looking, and I got on his radar. I saw him, and he came over there where me and my girls were, and I said, "Girls, come over here closer to me." And he looked like he pretended that he was looking around and stuff. He wasn't looking for nothing. I have to really believe in my heart he was going to take one of my kids. And I looked him dead in his face. Because one thing I'm not going to do, if you have an attacker or someone who may try to attack you or take your kids, look them dead in their eyes. Don't put your head down. Let them know I see you, you nasty pervert. I see you. And so I looked him dead in his face. And then when we were leaving out the store, I saw him driving by in this white van with just two windows on the side. And in my heart, in my gut, the Lord said that man was going to try to take your children. That's why we have to listen to the voice of the Lord. You know, it really upset me because I kick myself anytime I do something a little stupid, like when it comes to my kids. For example, when we travel, I stop at hotels to use the bathroom. I don't stop in none of these rest areas because that's another area and you'll see signs, especially on a 95 highway. You'll see signs in the rest area bathrooms that this is a high human trafficking. Keep your eyes open, be aware. And that's a darn shame that you see that while you're in the bathroom. So anyway, I don't stop at rest areas. So I'm stopped at the hospital. We stopped at a hotel. And some hotels, they have like bathrooms, the women's bathroom, there are multiple stalls. And then there are other hotels we stopped at and there was only one stall. So I would have like my oldest go in first and I wait outside. And then I made a stupid mistake. I said, okay, Anna, you wait outside the door while I go in with Lillian. Why did I do that? You understand what I'm saying? And I'm usually on my game. And I'm thinking that 2 seconds while I was in there using the bathroom, somebody could have taken my Anna and I never would have seen her again. Even though she gets on my nerves and she's 11 and she gives me grief and she talks back, but they would have taken my baby and that thing would have killed me. You see, and as parents, sometimes we'll just run in the store or and not paying attention where the kids are and let them run around. I don't do that, but I've seen it happen. But all it takes is one move and one thing and we think, oh, they'll be all right. And bam, we never see them again. And it's that constant fear. And I kicked to myself, and I told my husband, I kicked myself for days about that stupid mistake I made because someone could have snatched my child, even though she was like right outside the door. The door was shut. Some man could have grabbed her by the mouth, put his hand around her and taken her to one of them hotel rooms and done God knows what and killed her. You understand what I'm saying? Because of me just not really thinking. I thank God that didn't happen. But my heart is hurting and heavy this morning for the parents who have children who are missing and abducted. I cannot even, I can't allow myself to feel or think of how that pain would feel because it would literally break my heart. I can see how people die from a broken heart because you are always anticipating not knowing what evils is happening to your child. And I just want to say, first of all, to those of you and you nasty, dirty, foul people who do this kind of stuff and who have done this kind of stuff, there's no words I can even say to you. There's no words. Tell you go to hell, that's not even good enough to say to you. I mean, it's no human words. I just hope you suffer. I hope you suffer. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, people always say, well, I forgive. You can forgive, but you don't have to be a fool. You don't have to be a fool. It's okay to feel the pain, the hurt, the anger, the stages of grief that one feels. We can't tell anyone how to grieve. But one thing I do have to say is my heart is heavy this morning. My heart is heavy today because of that beautiful child. I don't give a damn if the child was white, black, green, yellow, red, blue, indigo. It's a child. It's a shame, however, that the media only doesn't give as much airtime. I'm talking about national media, unless the child is blonde hair and blue-eyed. But it's still a travesty even when it happens to white children. It's a travesty all around. It's an evil. It's a wickedness. And we have to come against it. We have to. That's what upsets me so much about many of us in the body of Christ. Oh yeah, we're Christian, all right. Except for on Sundays, white people go to their white churches, black people go to their black churches. But this evil that's snatching our kids, they don't care if we're segregated. This evil wants us to be segregated. But we have to come together and start praying together for our children and stop all of this. It's sickening. It's sickening. Instead of us sitting here on a national level worried about Trump and if he's going to be impeached or not, worried about everything going on with Putin and everything else, we need to be praying and interceding and really looking for those people who are taking and abducting children. This is what our focus and monies needs to be on. But all we're obsessed with, every news outlet, CNN is obsessed with the impeachment of Trump. Fox News is obsessed with covering up things. Everybody's obsessed with their own agendas, but yet our children are being taken. And it does not matter. Rich, poor, black, white, red, green, yellow, indigo. They are being taken, abducted, and sexually molested. And something has to be done. And the sad thing is the oppressors, the ones who are doing it, they are not afraid. I tell you what we should start doing. Instead of these men and women who are in prison for petty things like possession of marijuana, now, especially now that marijuana is legal in many states, we need to start letting them out so we can make some room in these prisons for these men and women who are abducting, raping, molesting, and brutalizing our children, and make prison a living hell for them. Make it a living hell. And then once they die, let them go to hell. This is what I'm saying. When it comes to child abductors, I mean, let's work on really the penal system, and let's really look for criminals. Let's use the good money that the government should be pouring into FBI and pouring into other agencies to seek out lost, missing, and abducted children. That's what we need to be looking for. How about we create a whole new government agency whose whole focus is just to find missing and exploited children? But no, what are we concerned about? We're concerned about the latest sports team. We're concerned about what LeBron James has to say about China and Hong Kong. We're concerned about all this other foolishness that means nothing to what's really important. See, don't be fooled by the okie doke, okay? The media, society, the powers that be, they want you to be blinded and shielded from what's really going on. They want us to look like we are an America that is divided, yet and still we have people coming in. Don't you understand? Don't you understand human sex trafficking is huge? They take these children, they take them all the way down through Florida, take them out onto the islands, and you never see them again. And this is a serious thing. It's not just girls, it's boys too. We live in a sick society. You got people who pay millions of dollars to sleep with a child. You've got millions of people who sleep with children and want to do harmful things to kids because they don't care. They don't care. But we have to care. And we don't have to tolerate it. We don't have to. And it hurts my heart. I'm sick of Americans walking around with their thumbs up their butt and their heads in the clouds, and all they're concerned about is them and theirs, and that's all that they're concerned about. It's a sad situation. All we're focused on with this election, I wish one of the candidates would start talking about, let's see what we're going to do to help missing and exploited children. You understand? Let's look at what we're going to do to help children's safety in America and create a whole new governmental task force whose job is clearly, and I mean to get the job done. Don't just play me. Train these people as if they were Navy SEALs to go into these countries, to go in around the United States and find these missing and exploited children and bring the perpetrators to justice. My heart is heavy today. You know, I'm just sick of it. You know, being a parent is just, I call it an inconvenient blessing. One day, my husband, I had to tell him that because we were talking about something, and I said, you know, being a parent is not convenient. If you want convenience, you should have stayed single. You don't need to have kids, because when you are a parent, it is an inconvenient blessing. It comes with a lot of joys, but a hell of a lot of lows, because you're constantly, where I must honestly say, I have not had a full night's sleep since being a parent. And you can tell me maybe I need to pray more, maybe I do. But the reality is, folks, this is what we're dealing with. Look, I just wanted to vent and air out what I was feeling. My heart goes out and my prayers go out to the families of that young girl and to all of you parents who have children who have been missing and abducted. May God bless you. May God please comfort your heart like no other could ever comfort you. Talk to you soon. You all be blessed. Bye-bye.